In this video, we'll help you connect your Canon EOS mirrorless digital camera to your Windows computer over a wireless network. Let's get started. We recommend using Camera Access Point mode, which allows you to connect your camera directly to your Windows computer without the need for a wireless router. Download the most recent Canon EOS utility software from the Canon website by visiting usa.canon.com/support. Follow these steps to download the software for your camera. Click on the search box and type in your Canon EOS mirrorless digital camera model. Select your camera from the drop-down search results. On the camera's model page, click on Drivers and Downloads. Select the Software tab. Look for the latest EOS utility software in the optional software list. Click Select, and then click Download. A window will appear with options for proceeding with the software download. Click Save. A new window will appear with instructions on locating and installing your download. Review the information, and then click the X icon to close the window and continue with the installation. Please note, the instructions on this window may differ depending on the browser you're using. A small window will also appear at the bottom of your browser with information about your download. This may take a few minutes. Click Open to access the EOS Utility Installer. A window will appear with the EOS Utility Installer. Double-click the file, and then click Run to begin the installation. Select your place of residence, and click Next. Select your language. Click OK, then click Install to start the software installation. Review the license agreement. If you agree to the terms, click Yes to continue with the installation. If you click No, the software will not be installed. The software will now be installed. This may take a few minutes. When you see this screen, click Next. Click Finish to complete the installation process. Now let's connect your camera. Please make sure the camera's date and time are correctly set up and a memory card is inserted in the camera before proceeding. Please note, the EOS R6 has a touchscreen function, however for this video, we'll be using the Set button and the multi-controller to make selections. Make sure the camera is powered on, then press the menu button. Go to the purple Wireless Settings menu. Make sure Wi-Fi settings is set to Enable. Then select Wi-Fi/Bluetooth connection. In the Wi-Fi function menu, select Remote Control, EOS Utility. Then select Add a device to connect to. The camera's SSID and password will be displayed. In the wireless settings of the computer, select the SSID or network name displayed on the camera's LCD monitor. If you'd like for your camera to connect automatically to your computer, click the box next to Connect Automatically. Then click Connect. Enter the password displayed on the camera's LCD monitor. Then click Next. Select OK on the camera to start pairing devices. Open EOS Utility on your computer. The EOS Utility Launcher window will appear. Click Pairing over Wi-Fi/LAN. The EOS pairing software would like to make changes to your firewall settings. Click Yes to proceed. The EOS pairing software window will appear. Select your camera model, then click Connect. Now let's go back to your camera and select OK to connect it to your computer. The EOS Utility menu screen will appear. Before we download your images, let's make sure your images will be saved in the right location on your computer. Click on Preferences. The Preferences window will appear. Click on the Destination Folder tab. By default, your photos will be saved in the Pictures folder. Click Browse to change your folder location. You may choose a folder that you've already created, or you can click Make New Folder to create a new folder in a new location on your hard drive. Click OK when you're finished making your selections. Back on the Destination Folder tab, review the options for creating a subfolder. Make your selections and click OK. Back in the EOS Utility menu, click on Download Images to Computer. You'll have an option to start automatic download or select and download. If you're going to select Start Automatic Download, make sure to click Settings first. Review your options and then make a selection. Click OK. You may now select Start Automatic Download. Depending on the number of photos and videos, the download may take a few minutes. If you choose Select and Download, a new window will open. Select the images or videos that you'd like to download by clicking the small box in the lower left corner of the thumbnails. Then click Download. A window will appear where you can verify the destination folder for your images. If you'd like to edit your destination folder location, click Destination Folder. Make your changes, and then click OK. If no changes are needed for your destination folder, click OK. Depending on the number of photos and videos, the download may take a few minutes. Once your download is complete, click Quit to close EOS Utility. You can now disconnect your camera from your computer. Press the Menu button. In the Wireless Settings menu, select Wi-Fi/Bluetooth connection. Then select Disconnect Exit. Select OK to disconnect Wi-Fi and exit. If you need to reconnect your camera to your computer, there's no need to complete pairing again if you'll continue using the camera and the computer together. Again, go to the purple Wireless Settings menu and select Wi-Fi/Bluetooth connection. Select the name of the computer you'd like to connect to. Depending on the initial wireless connection setup with your computer, the camera will pair automatically and EOS Utility will launch after pairing. If EOS Utility does not launch automatically, check your Wi-Fi connection and make sure Connect Automatically is checkmarked. Then click Connect. The camera will now connect with the computer and EOS Utility will open automatically.
This video is sponsored by Logitech. Hey guys, Irene here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to compare all 4 Canon mirrorless full-frame cameras, EOS RP, R, R6, and R5. I have wanted to do this for a while now since I have used all of these separately but never at the same time, and I'm just really curious to see if there will be a big difference. But before we go on, a little disclaimer. I will not be focusing on the technical side but rather review these cameras as a portrait photographer and a real-life test during one of my usual photo shoots. If you would like to read up more on the specs, I will leave the links to the official Canon website in the description. Let's start with pricing. At the lower end, we have the EOS RP that retails for $999 American dollars, up the R for $1,799, then R6 for $2,499, and finally the most expensive, and I change my lenses a lot during a photo shoot, so it's great to have this protective feature that will protect the sensor from dust and scratches. The only camera that does not have it is the RP, and it is the cheapest one. Next is the dual card slot. The RP and the R have just one SD card slot. R6 has 2 SD card slots, and the R5 has 1 CF and 1 SD card slot. For me personally, I don't care much about this. In like 10 plus years of me doing photography, I've always used just 1 card and I never had any issues, but I definitely see how someone that's doing maybe wedding photography would like to have the option of having 2 card slots. When it comes to layout and comfort, I don't have any problems except for the EOS R. For me personally, the shape, no joystick, and these touch arrow buttons, I still don't know what they do, just felt very alien. The R5 is my favorite by far. It feels the most like a DSLR to me, but with some improvements. But overall, all 4 cameras are really easy to use, super intuitive. That's why I love Canon. Touch screen is awesome and it's available in all 4 cameras. Same with the flip-up screen and Wi-Fi.
Introducing Speechalo, the most natural sounding text-to-speech software on the market. Hey
guys, today I'm going to share some ideas on posing females. Hi, my name is Jerry Gionis. I'm a wedding, totally fine with me. How do you bring out the best in a girl? Well, she's standing in front of you, she's waiting for a good shot, but you have to direct her, you have to bring out the best in her. Now, even though Rainey is gorgeous, she's got a great figure, again, it does take someone to bring out the best in whoever you're photographing. So if we were just standing flat-footed there, Rainey, right to the camera, well, this looks like we're on a firing squad. This is just a very basic way of photographing someone. It's a bit predictable. So what we want to do is this. We want to create some form. We want to bring out the shape. Now, what defines the male form, in my humble opinion, is chest and shoulders. What defines the female form, of course, are curves. So we want to bring out those curves. So first of all, I want you never to ever stand flat-footed, no matter who it is. Even if you're photographing a 12-year-old girl, whether you're photographing a corporate female CEO executive, I find it's just very static for a woman or a girl to stand like this. And of course, these posing ideas have to be age appropriate depending on who you're photographing. At the very least, all we do is put the feet together and bring one foot in front of the other, one knee in front of the other, pardon me. So this will even work with a 12-year-old girl. If you sort of overly bring out sort of shape, it's not going to be appropriate. Now, let's say a female corporate CEO executive, you might want to add a bit of softness to over here, but then a bit of strength in the arms, and you might get her to lean forward like this, and all of a sudden we're showing femininity, but also strength and independence. Fantastic. Now, when it comes to, let's say, complimenting a model or a late teenager or a bride or whatever it may be, these tips are going to be invaluable for you. So, let's talk about this. First of all, the easiest way that you can actually pose someone is really not saying a word at all. And here's what we're going to do. We'll do a demonstration now. I'm going to just say one little piece of advice to Rainey, and she'll follow my perspective here. Let's basically stand about this far apart. Fantastic. And all I want you to do is mirror me. Okay, you ready? Perfect. Easy. You see how easy that was? Now, yes, Rainey has worked with me before. She basically knows how I like to pose, and it was easier from that perspective. But I am telling you, 100%, the more you get people to mirror you, the easier it is going to be for people to understand what you want. Now, posing does not have to be a dirty word. The minute you say, I'm going to pose you, people are like, oh, it's a bit stuffy, it implies a very mechanical sort of way of moving. But here's the thing, you ask a simple question to whoever you're photographing. And I might say, Rainey, as beautiful as you are, I can make you shine brighter than ever before with a simple direction. Would you like that?
Absolutely.
Of course. So no one's going to say, no, make me look uglier than I already am, thank you very much. Everyone's going to want to look great. So you give people a logical reason as to what you're doing and why you're doing it. That's a really important part of the process. So educating your client as to what you're doing and why you're doing it. Otherwise, if it just feels awkward, which sometimes posing does, then they're not going to feel good about it, therefore it's going to be a problem. Remember though, women will do anything for beauty. You have to understand that. So again, please educate whoever you're photographing in front of your camera as to what you're doing and why you're doing it. Now, so what we said before that we want to at least put the weight of the body sort of one way or the other. That's a good start for us. But let's start from the beginning. How would we pose a girl to bring out curves in a bit stuffy, it implies a very mechanical sort of way of moving. But here's the thing, you ask a simple question to whoever you're photographing. And I might say, Rainey, as beautiful as you are, I can make you shine brighter than ever before with a simple direction. Would you like that?
Absolutely.
Of course. So no one's going to say, no, make me look uglier than I already am, thank you very much. Everyone's going to want to look great. So you give people a logical reason as to what you're doing and why you're doing it. That's a really important part of the process. So educating your client as to what you're doing and why you're doing it. Otherwise, if it just feels awkward, which sometimes posing does, then they're not going to feel good about it, therefore it's going to be a problem. Remember though, women will do anything for beauty. You have to understand that. So again, please educate whoever you're photographing in front of your camera as to what you're doing and why you're doing it. Now, so what we said before that we want to at least put the weight of the body sort of one way or the other. That's a good start for us. But let's start from the beginning. How would we pose a girl to bring out curves in a very systematic kind of a way? So here's what we do. We turn the body on a bit of an angle, okay? So now what we'd like to do is, so if you're mirroring me like you are, point your toe towards the camera, slide the heel back in, bend the knee, shoulders back, lean the chest forward, and then arms off the body. So what we're doing now, guys, you see this beautiful curve. I almost look prettier than you, but that's okay. That's another tutorial. But what's happening here is we're bringing out her beautiful curves. So let me have a look from this perspective. Yep, great angle, great curves, everything's looking really, really good. Now, do you notice something else? Posing is not just posing for the sake of posing. It is you have to pose according to the light source. Now, in previous tutorials, I would have discussed actually very specifically lighting for women. So to give you a quick little elevator pitch on what I'm talking about is this. The direction of light's coming from here. It's an open garage door. It could be likened to a big window light. So what I like to do is turn the body away from the light source until we get a shadow on the cleavage, middle of the dress. Then, so now her left leg is closest to the camera. The leg that's closest to the camera is usually the one that you'll always bend. In other words, the weight distribution will be on her back leg. So she puts all her weight in the back leg. If she's doing it correctly, she can lift up her front leg, no problem. So now we're good. Now, also, we said hands on the hips for this particular argument here. And according to the light, we turn her face and then turn it to the light, and then her eyes can go back to the camera. So when you pose a girl with the chin to the outer shoulder with eyes back, it's considered very feminine. So we've got that. That works for us. So now that we understand the foundation of the female form, let's get a bit more specific. So let's just unravel again. If you just stand normally with your hands by your side, now you don't really have that problem, but usually there'll be little pinches of skin that will hang over the dress. That's an issue, especially if you're wearing an evening gown, and as we get older, skin loosens up a little bit. That's just the nature of who we are as humans. But if you want to eliminate those little pinches of skin, all you have to do is actually bring the shoulders back and the arms off the body. Now here's the thing, when you bring a body part on another body part, you flatten it. So in this case, I have very small arms. Now I'll make up with it my height and my brain, but anyway, so if you bring an arm against the body, it looks bigger and flatter. So for a girl, it's a touching point for girls. Girls do not like their arms looking big. See, here's the thing. Guys have three problems. We have problems with our gut being big, our double chin, bald head. Women, everything. Women are conscious about everything. One of the sour points is the arm looking bigger. So you always have to understand to bring the arms off the body. You have to give her an excuse to bring her arms off her body. It could be holding her hands up. It could be holding her hair. It could be, for a bride, it could be holding the veil out. It could be anything. Just bring her arms off her body. Even if it's like this and back, at least it's something. So, also, what else happens when you actually bring the shoulders back of whoever you're photographing? Well, let's watch. So just come down back again. If you bring your shoulders back, now what happens is the bust looks fuller and firmer. Every girl's going to want their bust to look fuller and firmer. So shoulders back like this. If you do have a girl with a really big bust and you want to soften that, you can do the inverted bust. Like that horrible pose, for some reason, has been popularized by models all over the world. Everyone just does this. This only looks good, really, for my opinion, over the shoulder and not so much like this. But if you have a girl with a big bust and you want to swallow that bust up a little bit, that's when you make it concave, okay? Not convex. All right. So how else can we make the bust look fuller and firmer other than just bringing the shoulders back? Well, let's do this. So just stand normally. Okay, looking at the camera there. On the count of three, I want you to breathe in fully. 1, 2, 3. So you see that her bust is looking fuller and firmer by doing that. Also, if you want to emphasize something, you'll push it towards the camera and towards the light. In this case, I'm saying that if we want the bust to look fuller and firmer, we bring the shoulders back. We can breathe in, but ultimately, if you turn your body a little bit more away like this, a bit more, point the toe towards the camera again, slide the heel back in, bend the knee, shift your weight back, shoulders back. Now, hands on the hips for one moment, and now lean your chest forward this way, and then turn your face towards the light and eyes back at the camera. So do you see how her bust looks fuller and firmer in that way as well? So we have three ways of doing that, short of actually going in Photoshop and using all those tools that can actually make body parts look bigger or smaller. But we can do it in camera, and of course, if we can, why wouldn't we? Okay, let's talk about something else now. So we've talked about the bust, we've talked about shoulders, we've talked about the body positioning with a... So now we've given you a little bit of theory. Now let's put it into practice to take a couple of shots to give you an idea of how we can execute all these ideas. So right now, actually stay where you are, Rennie. I love that because you're standing very flat-footed. Your body language is suggesting, like, hurry the hell up, I want to go right now. Which might happen with a girl that you're photographing, and that's okay. So what we want to do is we want to disarm her a little bit. So just take the arm away a little bit. Okay, so disarm or disarm. Now, we basically said the importance of turning the body away from the light source and the face back in, as well as combining it with that classic foundation of that full-length female pose. So what we'll do, turn your body slightly away from the light. That's it. Point your toe towards me, mirror me. That's it. Slide the heel back in, bend the knee. Shoulders back, and then you can put your hands on your hips for the moment. And now turn your body a little bit more towards the light, just a little bit. There we go. Okay, good. And now turn your face towards the light. A bit more.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire, messages that forge brighter connections, and...
Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to pose couples. Hi, my name is Jerry Gionis. I'm a wedding portrait and fashion photographer. I've been shooting for 27 years and teaching for 20. I'm going to share some of that experience with you right now by teaching you how to pose couples and how to go from this to this. By the way, guys, I have an amazing course, the Photography Quick Start. It's a free download, and you can actually enjoy this by clicking the link right up here or down below. So you have a couple in front of you. What do? They're standing like this. They're waiting for a photograph. Now, cute couple. But we have to bring out a little bit of finesse. Now, usually when I'm photographing a couple, I start with what I call the safe shots. It's like you do what you have to do what you want to do. So get the shot, clean shot, looking in the camera, smiling, no problem, and then you can keep on going from there. Now, depending on whether this is photographing for a wedding, photographing for an engagement session, photographing a couple, whether it's a young couple, an older couple, just get it cleanly done. Now, when they're looking at the camera, I'm okay with the hands of the guy, for example, being in the pocket or being on his side. I'm okay with the hand being on the hip for the girl or whatever it might be. doesn't really matter because we're not really trying to convey romance or anything like that. It's a clean, classical, traditional photograph. So in this case, they're standing like this. So Rainie's just sort of, politely sort of waiting, and she's actually trying to put her weight off her legs a little bit like this. There's a little bit of finesse to what she's doing, but it's important that we adjust her accordingly. So first of all, if you are photographing a couple and you're suggesting a relationship or intimacy in some kind of a way, it's important that they turn their bodies actually towards each other. So let's do that on a 45-degree angle. Make sure your shoulders touch sort of right at the end. As you can see, bring your arms around each other. So right there, keep your hands on the side. So this hand's in the pocket. So we can see Jacob's hand's in the pocket and Rainie's hand is right here on the hip. Now let's pay attention to a couple of things. Now, Jacob, if you bring your hand up a little bit higher on this side and bring it more this way, now you can see this is a common mistake. We can see his left hand right on the thinnest part of the waist. It's a little bit higher because she already had her hand on her hip. But I don't like that hand popping out of nowhere. Now, I'm happy to sacrifice perfection for emotion, as in, he's drawing, the woman he loves close to him, and that's fine. But I feel like I just want to lose that distraction. If it's not adding something to the photograph, it's probably taking away. So in this case, that hand's a distraction, so we'll get rid of that left hand. Now, bring your left hand right on there as well. Now, we established the male pose, which is basically, for me, as far as I'm concerned, we turn his body on a bit of an angle. We actually are going to photograph him with his leg bent as close to the camera, as well as the common denominator is that her leg that's close to the camera is also bent. Watch what happens when we actually put all the weight on the front leg of Rainie's. So now what's happening is we're widening that dress. There's a little bit more junk in the trunk, so to speak. It depends on if you want that. The good thing about the world we're living in today, we're celebrating, curves and things like that. That's fantastic. So if you wanted some more curve there, you could put the weight there, but you can see there's a disconnect. It's almost like the lower part of her body is facing this way, and then her upper body is facing that way. There's a disconnect, so we don't like that. So we're going to shift her weight and put all the weight in the back leg. So let's start from scratch here for a second. Stand shoulder to shoulder, flat-footed, looking at me. Okay, so right now I'm going to photograph that portrait. You may have seen this kind of shot, and that is sort of like the, what do you call it, that fork, what is that? American Gothic. There it is. So you may have seen that shot, the painting, the American Gothic. It's flat to the camera. They're very stoic, and it's been popularized in our industry for the last several years. And it's perhaps been and gone, but I feel like standing there with no emotion, that's exactly it. There's no emotion. It doesn't make me feel anything. So I don't want that shot. I want a little bit of finesse. So now let's turn our bodies towards each other. Keep the feet flat-footed for a moment. So come nice and close together again. Okay, so the hands are by their side. At least their bodies are turned to each other. There's some kind of emotion happening there. Let's take a shot like that for the moment. Okay, but there's nothing going on. Let's go a little bit further, one step further. Bring your arms around each other. The one's furthest away from me. Great, stop there. Keep the feet flat-footed. Okay, so right like that. Great. So now what we'll do is we'll leave Jacob where he is. We won't move him in good with most girls. The web for her. Let's put his
You created a business. Now, create videos for your business, easily and instantly.
So now we put their faces nice and close together. Perfect. Turn the bodies in a little bit slightly this way. Back, beautiful, and down a little bit. Now we see a little bit of a gap between her elbow and her body, therefore we can see her silhouette. Bring the faces touching again. Okay, perfect. So there's a way of actually photographing a couple holding hands, but also getting the curve of her, and that's basically good. Stop there. So bend that knee in there, Rainey. Good. Close the gap, and then looking out that way, assuming I was from that perspective. Now, so if you look at that particular shot, from this angle, it doesn't look as good because now Rainey is completely flat with that beautiful traditional shot. Let's do that again. So you can say to him, just bring your chin out like a turtle. Okay, so straight away, Jacob looks like he has a double chin. Now, he doesn't, but it's the way I've posed him because he's wearing a turtleneck and now the skin is gathering by simply bringing his chin down because that's what happens to normal people under those circumstances. But here's how we're going to fix it. So let's go nice and close. and show you how we're going to fix it. So go close again. Don't be conscious of it. But you can sort of see the gather of his chin here. First of all, we simply can say to him, just bring your chin out like a turtle. Okay, so straight away we've fixed that. Also, if you look at the intimacy of that photograph, if I say, guys, pretend my hands are your faces, and I say do this, so start again from there. Now turn this way. Stop. So now you get their profile, but you see more of what's happening. So now look diagonally into each other and stay there for me. So now we're going to go back. Just first of all, let's do that double chin shot. So let's just look at each other. That's it. Perfect. Good. Hold it. Okay. Now chin forward like a turtle. Yeah, that's it. Now, Jacob, surpass her a little bit on this side. Come a little bit closer to me. So not so much your body, just bring your face. So right now you're there. Just come a little bit sort of more that way. That's it. Just there. Okay. Now bring your foreheads touching again sort of more evenly. And then turn your faces outwards towards me like you did before. Good. Chins up. Good. Eyes down into each other. Beautiful. Eyes just looking right on the ground there, mate. Right at her feet. There you go. Just that move. Beautiful. Now, if they're a real couple, I might even crack a joke and say, hey, Jacob, look at the view. And then sometimes the guy's like, I mean, dude, not the freaking view, the view, dude. Like, and now that makes them laugh. And now we've sort of broken the monotony of the posing. So remember, guys, stop demonizing posing. Posing is really bringing out the best in people because they don't know what they look like. It's up to us to learn how to bring out the best in them. But again, let's go back to our mandate for this episode, and that is how to photograph couples. So we've got a nice traditional shot looking at the into each other as a bit of an almost kiss. But here's how you can vary up the pose really, really quickly and get a couple of really cool shots. And I'm glad you reminded me of this actually, Jacob. So you've got your hand in your pocket.
ஒரு 174 சார். தலையை வேற துண்டா கட் பண்ணிருக்காங்க.
Hi guys, this is R. Prasanna, professional photographer and certified master trainer from Chennai. I shoot a variety of work. I shoot fashion, I shoot advertising, and I shoot corporate, and I do a lot of travel photography also. And when Sony India gave me the opportunity to test the most awaited camera, that is the Sony a7M4, I was like really excited. And when I got the camera in my hands, it was like wow, because it's such a solid and it's such a well built camera, and it's like ergonomically well balanced because it just fits in your hand just like it's just a part of your hand. So I thank Sony India for the opportunity, and I would love to share the results with you, because as soon as I got the camera, I got like super excited. I wanted to try it out in an indoor shoot, I wanted to try it in an outdoor shoot, I wanted to try out in low light and all these things. So in this video, I'll be sharing my experience and what I feel about the camera and how the camera performs under various conditions. New Sony a7 Mark IV is a 33 megapixel full frame XMOR CMOS sensor, and it has a Bionz XR processor. It also supports up to 10 frames per second continuous shooting and has an ISO range of 100 to 51,200. When it comes to video, the Sony a7M4 has 4K 60p video in 10-bit, and it also has S-Cinetone. The electronic viewfinder has 3.68 million dots with a 120 FPS refresh rate. There is also a 3-inch 1.03 million dot vari-angle touchscreen LCD. When it comes to image format, the camera supports JPEG, HEIF and RAW. When it comes to autofocus, the Sony a7M4 has 759 AF points, and the real-time IAF fine-tunes the focusing accuracy and recognizes human, animal and bird size for critical sharpness. AF during video recording and additional focus modes are also available. Focus map is a unique way of visualizing depth of field and functions in a similar way to peaking, with a colorful overlay of scene that indicates which parts of the scene are in front of and behind the focus point depending on the chosen aperture. This is a very interesting feature for people who shoot video. The a7M4 has 5-axis in-body image stabilization. That is a steady shot image. Hi friends, I am R. Prasanna, professional photographer and photo mentor. Welcome to our YouTube channel. ஏற்கனவே பார்த்தாச்சு நிறைய நம்ம. ஸோ ரீசெண்டாக நிறைய பிளானிங் வந்து பண்ணோம். மேக்கப் யார் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க பார்த்தா நம்ம சௌமியா டாலி பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, சார்மிங் பிரைட்ஸ் நம்ம பிரபா தருண் இவர் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. ஸ்டைலிங் பார்த்தா நம்ம ஜெயசுதா பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, ஐரிஸ் ஃபேஷன். ஸோ நாங்கள் எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து இந்த டீம் ஆஃப் எஃப்டாக பண்ணும்போது சரி இதில் தான் டிஃப்ரெண்ட்டாக நம்ம பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கும்போது பின்னாடி வந்து ஃப்ளெக்ஸ் பேக்ரவுண்டில் இந்த ஷூட்டை வந்து பிளான் பண்ணோம். ஸோ பின்னாடி வந்து பேக்ரவுண்ட் வந்து பிளெயினாக இருக்கிறத விட ஃப்ளெக்ஸில் வந்து ரிவர்ஸ் பிரிண்ட் பண்ணி இந்த பேக்ரவுண்டில் வந்து வச்சுருக்கோம். இந்த ஃப்ளெக்ஸ் பேக்ரவுண்ட் பற்றி நான் ஏற்கனவே வந்து உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு வீடியோ வந்து நான் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். அந்த வீடியோ வந்து பாருங்கள், எப்படி வந்து யூஸ் பண்ணுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஸோ இந்த 2 பேக்ட்ராப்ஸுமே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஃப்ளெக்ஸ் தான், அந்த ஆக்சுவல் பேக்ட்ராப்ஸ் கிடையாது. இது வந்து ஃப்ளெக்ஸில் வந்து ஸோ இந்த பேக்ட்ராப்ஸில் யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது கொஞ்சம் க்ரியேட்டிவாக பண்ணணும். ஒரு லைட் வந்து ஒரு ஷாட் வந்து கொஞ்சம் சாஃப்டாகவும், ஒரு ஷாட் வந்து கொஞ்சம் கான்ட்ராஸ்டியான லைட்டு. ஸோ இதுக்கு நான் பண்ண விஷயம்னா அந்த ஒரே மாடிஃபயர் தான் இந்த இதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஸோ இந்த பேராவோட ஒரு பெரிய அட்வான்டேஜ் என்னென்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, உங்களுக்கு இது வந்து 24 சைடு இருக்குது, 24 சைட்ஸ். மற்ற ஒரு ரெகுலர் பேரா ஷார்ட் பாக்ஸில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 16 சைடு தான் இருக்கும். ரெகுலர் ஆக்டா பாக்ஸில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 8 சைடு இருக்கும். பட் இதில் வந்து 24 சைட்ஸ். ஸோ இது வந்து கரெக்டான ஒரு ரவுண்டான ஷேப் வந்து தருது. உள்ள லைட்டை புஷ் பண்ண பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு அப்படியே லைட் வந்து ஃபோக்கஸ்டாக ஹார்ஷாக வரும், அதாவது ஸ்ட்ராங்காக கிறிஸ்பாக வரும். அந்த லைட்டை வந்து அப்படியே பின்னாடி புல் பண்ண பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு அப்படியே சாஃப்ட் ஆகிட்டே போகும். ஸோ பேராபோலா அப்படிங்கிறது பார்த்தா கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு கோனிக்கலான ஒரு ஷேப்பில் இருக்கிறதால ரொம்ப ஃபோக்கஸ்டாக வந்து லைட் வந்து போகும். ஸோ ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், இப்போ இந்த பாரா மாடிஃபயர் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அது வந்து 120 சென்டிமீட்டர்ஸு, 24 சைட்ஸ் இருக்கும் அதில். ஸோ இதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சென்டரில் வந்து லைட் வந்து ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம், ஒரு ராடில் வந்து ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். அந்த ராடில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு லைட் வந்து இன்சைட் டுவர்ட்ஸ் த மாடிஃபயர் வந்து ஃபேஸிங்கில் இருக்குது. ஸோ இப்போ இதில் வந்து என்ன அட்வான்டேஜ்னா, இப்போ வந்து லைட் வந்து கிட்டத்தட்ட ஹார்ட் பொசிஷன் சொல்லக்கூடிய ஃபோக்கஸ்டு பொசிஷனில் இருக்குது. நான் என்ன பண்ணேன், இப்போ லைட்டை வந்து இப்படி நான் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு இந்த இடத்துல மட்டும்தான் லைட் கிடைக்கும். ஸோ இப்போ என்னென்னா கிட்டத்தட்ட வந்து ஒரு ஹார்டான லைட் சோர்ஸாக மாறிடும், கான்ட்ராஸ்டியாக இருக்கும் லைட் சோர்ஸு. பட் நான் இதே இப்போ அந்த லைட்டை வந்து அப்படியே வந்து லைட்டாக அப்படி பின்னாடி மூவ் பண்ணுறேன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், இப்படி இழுக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னா உங்களுக்கு பார்க்க அப்படியே வந்து லைட் வந்து இந்த இடத்துக்கு சேர்ந்து வரும். ஸோ இது வந்து ஒரு சாஃப்டான பொசிஷன்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஸோ இதுக்கு மேலே வந்து உங்களுக்கு ஒரு டிஃப்யூஷன் கிளாத் வந்துடுது, ப்ளஸ் ஒரு கிரிட் வந்துடுது. ஸோ அதை யூஸ் பண்ணினா லைட் இப்போ சாஃப்டாக கிடைக்கும் உங்களுக்கு. அதாவது இது வந்து ஒரு ஹை ஃபேஷனுக்கான ஒரு மாடிஃபயரு. ஸோ இப்போ இதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நீங்கள் AD600 Pro நான் வந்து யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். நீங்கள் AD400 Pro யூஸ் பண்ணலாம், அதே மாதிரி AD300 Pro யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். இல்லை AD600 Proவே ஹெட் இருக்குது தனியாக. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஹெட்டு வாங்கி யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ரொம்ப ஹெவியான லைட்ஸ் மட்டும் யூஸ் பண்ணாதீங்க. ஓகே, இப்போ இந்த இதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ஒரு சேஃப்டிக்கான இந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு வயரிங் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோன்னா இதை வந்து நல்லா ஸ்ட்ரெச் பண்ணிவிட்டு இந்த லைட்லேயே வந்து நம்ம இந்த மவுண்ட்டில் வந்து நம்ம இதை அப்படியே லாக் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஸோ இப்போ இந்த ஃபோக்கஸிங் ராடோட எண்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு ஃபோக்கஸிங் ராடு நிறைய நம்பர்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. வேறு டிகிரிஸில் நம்ம வந்து இந்த லைட்டை வந்து அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இந்த எண்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ரிங் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. இது எதுக்குன்னா இந்த ஆக்சிடென்டலாக அந்த கேபிள் வந்து வெளியில் போயிடக்கூடாது, இந்த ராடு வந்து வெளியில் போயிடக்கூடாதுங்கிறதுக்காக இந்த இடத்துல ரிங்கு கொடுத்துருங்க. இது என்ன பண்ணால் ஒரு லெவலுக்கு மேலே போனால் அப்படி டக்குன்னு இது வந்து ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிவிடும். ஸோ நீங்கள் ஒரு கவுண்டர் வெயிட் கூட இந்த இடத்துல ஹேங் பண்ணால் இன்னும் உங்களுக்கு பெட்டராக இருக்கும், இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பேலன்ஸ்டாக கிடைக்கும். ஸோ இப்போ இந்த இடம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு இந்த மெட்டீரியல் பார்த்தா கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் பார்த்தா அது வந்து ஒரு சாஃப்டான சில்வர் மெட்டீரியல் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு நல்லா வந்து லைட்டோட குவாலிட்டி வந்து நல்லா கிறிஸ்பாக அதே மாதிரி க்ளீனாக யாருக்குன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு ஃபோட்டோகிராஃபர் உங்களுக்கு எந்த மாடிஃபைலுமே கிடைக்காது. ஸோ அதனால தான் உங்களுக்கு இந்த வேணும் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா லெவல் மாடிஃபை தான் நான் சொன்னேன். ஏன்னா அது வந்து டச்சே பண்ண முடியாது மற்ற எந்த மாடிஃபைஸாலும். அந்தளவுக்கு வந்து இதில் வந்து ஒரு சூப்பரான குவாலிட்டி கிடைக்கும் உங்களுக்கு. ஸோ இந்த வீடியோ
मैं तो तेरे नाल ही रहना जी, हर गम संग तेरे सहना जी, मैं तो तेरे नाल ही रहना जी, हर गम संग तेरे सहना जी, जो जग से कहा ना जाए वो मुझको बस तुझसे कहना जी। सोना सोना इतना भी कैसे तू सोना, सोना सोना इतना भी कैसे तू सोना, तेरे इश्क में जोगी होना मैनू जोगी होना, सोना सोना इतना भी कैसे तू सोना,